Good morning and welcome back. The day has finally arrived. We are going to start putting the transmission back together for the 46 Farmall M. I'd like to welcome all the new subscribers to the channel and the continued supporters of the channel as well. Thank you both very much. Okay, let's get started. I've got all the gaskets and oil seals laid out so I can easily find them by the numbers like this. So they're all laid out, lower gear shaft or idler gear shafts, lower idler gear shaft cover, upper gear shaft cover, the pinion, seal drivers, rubber mallet, all that good stuff. But the most important is I have the actual parts list for the tractor, which is wonderful. It gives you the actual and original part numbers for gaskets and seals. And also too, I've got my notebook where I've taken the original part numbers and cross-referenced them with the numbers from Steiner or Napa or wherever. But because the numbers aren't the original numbers, all I got to do is go back, look at this number for instance, and then I can see the original part number and I can go up here and find it. And when it gives it to me here, like say 53717DA, it says gear shift lever ball, comes up, and if it was here on the table I could easily find it. I know what I'm looking for, and then I can use the crossover number to make sure it's correct. So let's walk over here right quick. Last night I did put the axle carriers on before I left. I did use gaskets and sealant, so that's pretty much it. But I've got the little reverse idler gear installed already, but I've got to go through here and clean out any dust or dirt that may have fallen in during cleaning or whatever. So I'm going to get that done, and I'm going to go ahead and get all the seals and bearings and everything pressed in. It's pretty simple. It's not really complicated to do bearings and seals. So as long as you go by your parts catalog, you should be fine. And when I get ready to do the actual assembly of this, we'll come back and we'll film that. But before we go to the pause, I've got this that came in, which is the actual tail wheel for my two-bottom C20 plow out there, and they're in here somewhere. Anyway, we'll find them later. I got the coulter brackets. The plow did not have the brackets on it when I got it, but JT West mentioned Duffield's up in Maryland, and he had them, so I called and got them. So we will be doing a video later on the restoration of the C20 two-bottom plow, and that way I can put coulters and a new tail wheel on it and get it ready for plow day. So we're gonna stop here. I'm gonna go ahead and get all the seals and bearings and everything pressed in, and then come back and we'll get this thing together and we'll be happy, or at least I will be. So thank you again, and we'll be back in just a few. All right, we're going to try and get this thing going. So let me grab the lower gear. All right, lower gear is going to slide in like so. Actually, go the other way. All right. Then this will slide up. I gotta get my spacer that fell off. Where'd it go? There we go. Okay. So this is gonna go like so. But before I slide it into place, we're going to put the bearing on, put the snap ring on, and that should be it for the lower gear. I've been soaking these in oil. Forgot. I got, these are piston ring pliers. Much easier. All right. Now, I'm gonna slide this in. And let me get the other bearing. This bearing has a snap ring on it. It slides from the outside in on the front of the transmission. There we go. Now, all right, we're gonna get the shims set up. Put the thickest up front. That way if I have to, well, actually I do it this way. If I have to take one out, then I can do that. So I'm gonna put these here. I'm gonna grab, all right, here's the upper shaft. Okay. And these go over this, like so. And we'll have to slide the gears back. So we can get the bolts in through the plate. All right, all the shims are on. Slide this in. This goes all the way in. Put the light here so I can see what I'm doing. All right, slide my gears back again. There we go, that ought to work. Now, so we'll line this up, put that back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this loose until I get the pinion in. I will get all 3 bolts started. I am using the same amount of shims that came out of here, so hopefully I won't have to be taking any more shims out. Okay, now this is what I was talking about. I left these 3 loose so I can get the pinion in here, but I didn't put the outer bearing and cover in here. Be very careful when you're doing this because this bearing right here you can damage it really easy. So just be careful. And the piece that goes in here, the top cover, is already over there with the bearings in it, ready to go. Once I get this set, then we'll put this in. So right now we're going to put the side, the actual drives for the pinion. I'm going to put those in. All right. Let's see. To get all my shims straight, cut the tie wrap off. All right. Get all my shims organized. so that they are the same. Make sure all my shims are in the right place. Yep, they look in the right place. All right, try this again. And like I said, gently persuade. There we go. Now, make sure you get all your shims back up there. All right. It is directional. It has to go one way, and the gear goes on the right side. So, that being said, let's get this heavy thing. And I do mean it's heavy. Okay. Have to back up and regroup. Yep. All right. I'm about to slide this back out just a little bit so I can get this in. All right. Let me back this bolt out. And it would be the size I ain't got. All right, now we're gonna put it in. The gear goes, the teeth on the gear face the left side of the tractor. And this thing is heavy and it's got a mind of its own. All right, now let's get this thing up here. Okay, I'm probably gonna have to take this and slide the top shaft out some too so I can get this thing in there. So, let's go and put the other side in. Okay, we're gonna try and put the other side in now. Let me get my shims lined up. Okay. That should keep them in line. All right. Turn this around so I can get oil to flow in here. All right. Make sure that I'm lined up. All right, that shaft is lined up with that, so should be able to get it on in now. Oops. All right, that's hitting that. We're probably gonna have to move this back some more, just so I can. We'll just take it out. Get the pinion set first. And then I know we're okay. That's the only drawback about taking something apart and letting it sit for any amount of time. All right, let's see if we can get it on in there now. Yeah, we're lined up. We're good with that. We just got to get this to drive on in. And like I said, just take your time. I'm gonna have to slide that top gear on all the way out. Okay. All right. It's hitting again. What I really need is 2 long bolts, and I can pull this thing in using bolts. For it to slide out that easy, just me touching it, you think it would go in as well. But it's got a mind of its own. Let me see if I got a couple bolts I can pull that thing in with. Let's see, these right here, too small. Okay, now I got some bolts that are long enough. So try and pull this thing in using bolts. And not that the dead blow was killing it, but we'll do it with bolts as soon as I can find what I did with my ratchet. You'd almost think it was Monday. Let's see, I know I had it. All right, I got two longer bolts. We're gonna try and ease this on up in there. There it goes. We're going to fix that that backlash just by adjusting those. But anyway, now I got it close enough. I can put the shorter bolts in here and draw it on up with those, and then we'll get this set to where it needs to be. All right, I had two other bolts around here. I guess there they are. Put these in here, and then I've got 4 bolts on each side to hold it in place until I get the original hardware cleaned, and then we'll come back and put those in, because I still have to clean the drum, not the drums, but the discs that go, I guess you call them a disc. I still got to clean those and put those in. So we got a little bit more to do, but I just wanted to get all the gears in and get this thing covered up. And by doing that, it would get me some more floor space. All right, we're good there. So now we need to check the engagement between the upper gear shaft and the pinion gear. And that is adjustable or adjusted through the amount of shims that you have in the back. So, and like I said earlier, these are the shims that I pulled out of here. It should be the same, because the only thing I really did was just change gears that had that were chipped or broken. Drop light. Where'd I do the drop light? Tell you what, today is my Monday. Definitely a Monday, because I forgot to put this plate up there. There we go. All right. Okay, we're going to put the front drive shaft in, and there's a bearing that goes inside of here. I've already put some oil on that, and we're going to slide this in like so, and raise this gear, raise the main top shaft up rather, and put that in there. All right, like it's supposed to be. Now, let me come back out just a little bit so I can spin this around. Well, I can see that ain't gonna work. Hopefully, there we go. Now, because the gasket on the back side is moved a little bit. All right, let me see if I can get it to do like I want to do. Okay, that's like I want it to do. Everything's turning like it should. I got a little cleanup to do here, but that's okay. And like I said before, I'm using other bolts to hold this stuff on until I get the original bolts cleaned. All right, welcome back. Today is the day, finally. Got to put the axle in here. I've already got the bearing on it. I put the other one in off camera. It was a little difficult, but then the light bulb came on and I got it in. So we'll look. Axle is in, and what I did was I took some grease and put on the splined end of the shaft, slid it in the carrier, got it lined up with the bull gear, and then I started off with a long bolt and washer, and I would draw using a wrench and would draw it in or tighten it up, which would draw it in. So it seemed to work really good without any issues. So I'm going to get this one ready to go. We're going to put that in. Then the last thing will be the PTO shaft, which is just a straight shot from here up there to the counter shaft in the bottom. That's laying over there. That's got to be cleaned and stuff. So, but it's really simple. But we will get this in, and I'm probably going to wind up the video there, because like I said, the PTO shaft is pretty simple. It's like I said, it's just the one bearing and a straight shot to the counter shaft. So let me get set up and we'll get this thing in. So be right back. All right, I've got the bolt started, bull gear in, and there is grease on the splines of the shaft. So all we're going to do is use this bolt and draw it on up. Okay, it's done. I've got a couple little things to do, but I'm not going to worry about that right now, because the majority, or pretty much, it's done. The only thing left to install is the PTO shaft, and it's just a straight shot from the rear cover back up to the lower counter shaft. But everything's in, it's nice and clean, and I will clean it again before I put the top cover on it. Both bull gears are in, and it wasn't that bad. I used long bolts. I used long bolts to draw the axle into the bull gear. I put a little bit of grease on the end of the shaft so it would actually slide easier in the bull gear. And like I said, I used longer bolts and drew the axles in. So that's pretty much it. You can see it's all there. I wiped most of the oil and stuff off with a surface cleaner so it won't soak into that. And like I said, I've got this outer cover soaking and cleaning the PTO shaft. So that's about it. And I'd like to thank everyone for your patience while I was putting this video together. So I'm going to close up for now, head on back over to the house and get to editing this video. So thank you all again for staying tuned and being patient while I put this back together. And we're going, once I finish this last couple little things, I'm going to take and clean up the shop. But the disc is going to be disassembled, the clamshells. I'm going to get those cleaned, put new grease fittings in it and grease it. I'm running out of time, so I'm just going to get to where I can use this and use the 2-row planter. I won't have time to tear them down and repaint them this before planting season gets here. So, but as long as they work and they run, we'll get some videos of them, and then we can finish or restore them next winter. So, well, that's it for the Farmall M transmission. Thank you all very much for being patient with me again, and I hope that you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time from Old Red Tractors.